again. Hello, hello. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Amana.
All right. Another awesome week. And the person we had is one that I have known in the community of Anchorage, who brings in multiple perspectives to, being a leader in the community. He's a barber, he's a leader, a mental health advocate, right? And an advocate for men's health, but also an advocate for reading, reading culture.
Yeah.
And one who is really called to serve young people, particularly young men in our state. Kevin Bruno, the owner of Connected Cut Barbershop in Anchorage. I've had the pleasure of knowing Bruno, I think, now for we're going on to 3 years.
Okay.
As a barber and as a very active participant on community-based participatory research that we are working on to explore the place of barbershops in health promotion, particularly reaching black men, and then now we're reaching all men because we've figured out that barbershops are spaces for all men and women and children. Right? Yeah. And Kevin takes this responsibility very seriously. And so it was an awesome pleasure to sit down with him. I can assure you that it was just so wonderful. I think we would have gone for a while.
Yeah, we already went for a long time. But it was so rich. Yes. And this man has stories all day long.
Yeah.
And stories that aren't just semi-interesting but important. And I think, stereotype bending, which are the best kind of stories.
Right.
That he addresses. A lot of his story is around being stereotyped and the damage that did to his life. And I was privileged to be there as a white person because it's white people who are making those stereotypes, who are keeping people who are perpetrating some of those actions and perpetuating those really harmful stereotypes. But also, I would never have heard his story had I not been on this podcast necessarily. And I wouldn't have had the pleasure to meet him and to realize what rich wisdom he has based on hard-won experience and what he's been able to do with that experience, to not move into, a victim mindset or anger or some of those places that are easy to go, and it doesn't mean you don't have any of those things. Those are human feelings to have, especially around intense experiences that he has had. But his passion to give back and his passion to tell his story and to realize he has something to give is really powerful, and it deserves a lot of respect.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Kevin Bruno. Briefly talk to us about what your typical day is here. How is your day today?
A typical day in the barbershop for me, just I guess depends. The only thing that changes in the morning for me is if I have my son or not. So with that being said, on the days that I don't have my kids, just a regular day, we come in and the first thing I do when I walk through the door is turn on the towel warmer, which is next to my door. Then the day just kind of starts from there. Yeah. Turn on the lights, prep what I got to prep, depending on what's the haircut, put the music on. I don't listen to no rap before 1 o'clock. So that and my coffee, that's pretty much every day for me. And I do coffee pretty much every day.
You do coffee, yeah.
Every day.
I guess you need coffee to stay awake and act and alert.
I'm just a coffee guy. I don't sleep anyway. It don't really do nothing for me. Yeah. It's one of them things that trick me. It's one of the things that I just trick myself into a mood thing. It don't do nothing for me. Coffee don't do nothing for me. Red Bulls, it don't. It's like ibuprofen. You just trick your brain.
Cool. So who is Kevin?
Man, I guess it depends on who's asking. But Kevin is just Kevin has survived a lot. You know what I'm saying? Kevin is a survivor. Kevin is somebody that don't give up. Kevin is somebody that tries not to look back too much because there's a lot of stuff that I don't really like that's back there. So I just keep trying to move forward. One of the things that I've established in this last 10 plus years is just 2% better. You know what I mean? 2%. I know I've always heard people say, 1% better, but the reason for me saying 2% better is because I only had a 2% chance of ever walking after an incident. So I just always tell people, or when I talk to people, can you give 2% more? And if they say yes, it's like, because they don't think about it. They always, it's 2%. So once I tell them that and they say yes, or I got to remind myself to give 2%. I remember where I was and where I'm going. And typically whatever I got to accomplish is easier than what I've already had to accomplish. So that's how I go through it.
I like that. Yeah. We want to go into more details about, the 2% survival. What happened?
2014, I was leaving a party. Because my past life caught up to me. I was leaving a party and I got shot 6 times with a 40 cal. So I took 6 shots from behind. So 2 bullets hit me in the arm, 2 to the side, or 2 into the back, 2 into the side. For 6 shots completely. Got shot 6 times. Woke up out of that, and they told me I only had a 2% chance to get my legs back. 'Cause when I woke up out the surgery, I was paralyzed from the waist down. Nothing, couldn't feel nothing, nothing was working. So from the waist down, I was paralyzed.
Wow.
Sounds like a long recovery.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm just okay with it, Yeah. No one can really tell me where my synopsis or whatever goes from now, because I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm pretty much doing. So it's just all bonus.
Yeah.
And survived the hard part, which was living. Yeah. So I guess the other part, I just take it for stride. I'm in pain every single day. Nothing changes. I don't take none of the kind of medications that they try to give me. So I don't take nothing harder than ibuprofen. So it just is what it is. No complaints.
Was that here in Anchorage?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Have you always lived in Anchorage?
Not all. I've always lived in Anchorage and Alaska. I've lived in Baltimore and I've lived in Texas.
Okay.
But I've always, wherever my parents is at is home. So my parents always been here.
Nice. How old were you when you lived in Texas and Baltimore?
So I moved to Alaska when I was 3 years old from the Caribbean. I'm from Dominica.
Okay.
And then I was in Baltimore for the summer of school. So I was in Baltimore going into my junior year. I got in trouble. My mom sent me off. So I was in Baltimore during my junior year. And then I was in Texas in 2015. I had moved to Texas after being shot. After recovering, I moved to Texas 2015. And I came back in 2016. And I've been here ever since.
Wow.
When I came back, that's when I went to barber school. I did all of that.
Okay. Yeah. So talk to us about how you got into, being a barber, and what do you hope to achieve with this?
Oh, it's funny. So I never planned on being a barber. What pushed me back into the barbershop was mental health. I was in a dark place. I had just got re-released out of jail for a mental health situation. I was in the house. I just had got off another court situation, and I just didn't know. My body didn't work no more, so I've never had a job that wasn't physical. So I didn't know which way to go for work. Didn't know if I was going to go back to school because I didn't want the loans. I didn't know which way to go. It was the first time since my injury I really had to figure out, what am I about to do with my life? How am I going to take care of my son? And I was just in a dark place. And then at the time, a friend had posted on the internet that he needed help in his barber school. So I wasn't in a barber, never planned on being a barber. So he needed help in his barber school and kind of needed help with his daughter. So I just had asked him, if you need help, I could help you. I wasn't even worried about being paid. I just needed to get out the house. I needed to get out the mental space that I was in. I needed to get out the dark. That's what I tell people. I needed to get out the dark. So with that job description, I started just working in the shop, filing paperwork, so forth, helping set up systems. That's when I got behind the camera. And I always wanted to be behind the camera ever since I was in school. So storytelling and reading always been part of my life since a kid.
Yeah.
And just never could afford a camera for real, or never really had one in my family like, this is how you shoot. So it was just one of the things I always wanted to do. I always, like I said, I always wanted to tell stories. And then, so when I started doing that, that's what I was doing. So I was doing all the footage, most of the media stuff. Like I wasn't cutting hair at all. Then the opportunity came. If I wanted to be a barber, then I was like, you know what? I still didn't know which direction to go with my life. Yeah. So I was just like, why not? The barber license can be transferred in like 48 different states. So wherever I go to spend what I got going on, I'll be a barber. So right before that, it's kind of like when the aha moment happened. The person that I was working with, he had a life coach. I think that's what they called him at the time. And when I met the life coach, he saw my scar on my face. And he's like, oh man, you look like you got a story. And it was the first time somebody called me selfish, because I'm one of the most unselfish. Trust me, I got too many scars on my body. I'm one of the most unselfish people, period. So when he called me selfish, it rubbed me the wrong way. But he had called me selfish because he didn't know my story. And he felt like everybody should know my story if I survived everything that I survived. So even from then to now, I'm still having trouble getting behind, like, telling my story. Because it's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's rewarding if it helps people. Actually, like, telling it. I don't think I found a sweet spot until, like, I really started diving into the mental health stuff for me to really tell it. Because I don't want to tell it and people be like, he was a gangster, because I wasn't. I don't want people to tell it and be like, because it wasn't. So trying to find a sweet spot of just finding my voice to tell it has been a little difficult. But it's been a little easier since I've been writing a book, so it's been fun.
Oh, you're writing a book?
I am writing a book.
Is it about yourself, your story?
It's about, yeah. I never wanted to. So again, I mean, part of we've kind of talked about me being in pain. So somebody might hear this and be like, well, why is he a barber if he's always in pain? That's the part of it. Like, I'm literally behind a chair exchanging stories every day. Like, it's not the cutting hair part that gets me up out of my bed. We're exchanging stories every day. And some days it's mediocre. Some days it's, man, the weather sucks. And some days it's everything from somebody losing their wife to my kid is sick to my kid got arrested to cancer to all of that. So when I got into the position of them asking like what goes on in the barbershop with men's health, and I'm like, oh, this is what like it's like with shop, because like this is like what I'm remaking is what I experienced growing up. And I was a troubled teenager growing up. Like, my OG barber's still around. Like, my OG barber does my mom's locks. They're locticians also. So it's like, even if no one can tell you my where I was to where I'm at, he could if he wanted to, because that's how long he's been around. Like, he did my locks when I first ever had locks at 16 years old. He did it. You know what I mean? I'm 37 now. So it's like, seeing that's what I had in Anchorage to kind of seeing where it's going now, and just seeing like, man, I'm not saying that there's not dope barbers. There's so many dope shops. I can highlight too many shops. I can highlight too many barbers that are dope. Yeah. So many barbers that are doper than me, I promise. Yeah. But I don't do it for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for the ones that are doper than me, like, I even want them to be the ones to be like, man, this is the problem I had brought to me. So as I started seeing what I'm on and hearing these situations is kind of growing, I'm more or less like, even with me, like, man, I can do the podcast. I already have the room for it. Yeah. I already have the space for it. You have the gear. The gear for it. You know what I mean? And really, it's going to sound funny. You know, we live in the land of AI. Yeah. I'm in a lot of pain, so I was using the AI, whatever that I was going back and forth, and I was just messing around with it. And I'm just like, hey, these are a couple of things. I'm a barber. Where can I go from here as a career? And it was just like public speaking, da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And I was just like, you know what, going into this year, I'm not going to say no to anything.
Awesome.
So from speaking engagements to going to barrel to talk to kids to doing a podcast or whatever anyone has asked me, until I just find my niche. And then the mental health advocate thing wasn't even something I called myself. Internet did that. I Googled myself and it was like, well, AI profile. And I was like, well, let me click it, see what the internet got to say about it. Because we all know now you can't argue with the internet. So, clicked on the internet and it said public speaking advocate, and it said mental health advocate, shooting survivor. I just had all my lists down, and I'm just like, and after a while, talking to a couple of people and being reminded about certain things, like, bro, the act of valor. I'm just like, I forgot about that. Like, bro, you don't know how prestigious that is? It's like, bro, I don't really talk about that. Like, I got some prestigious awards that we don't talk about because, again, like, I've lived on both sides of it. I've been a hero and I've been a villain in the public eye. So I've been scrutinized for both. So it is what it is.
Well, tell us about the awards.
So for the Act of Valor that I was awarded, and Act of Valor, Fox 4 Kids Club Award participant, I won all of those awards when I was 12. I went to Mount View Elementary in Anchorage, Alaska, and I was an unfortunate participant of a child slashing case. So a man that was going through mental health crisis came to my elementary school, and he ended up stabbing 4 kids. Slit the throat of 4 kids. And I was already at the school playing basketball, so I got involved, knocked him off 1 kid, and then when the second kid, from my point of view, got involved, he had slit his throat from ear to ear in front of me. So after that, I was, not knowing, after years and years, but after that situation, now in the know, and after being in therapy and all that, I was just never the same. Yeah. And that situation affected everybody differently. So I think everyone's trying to find different solutions for what they were going through. And like I said, it affected everybody differently. And I think for me, I had one of the most severe reactions towards it compared to everybody else. So it just made me more septic to bullshit, for lack of better words. So that happened. Then a couple years later, kind of happened again. According to my diagnosis, according to my whatever, you know what I mean? My therapy, going to therapy is like, I don't know how to run from situations. My fight or flight responses is broken when it comes to running. When it comes to fight, I only know how to fight. So it happened again. We was playing football. It was all, for me anyway, I was getting prepared for my varsity year of football. And various different kids were getting prepared for football, their varsity or JV years. And I'm not sure what caused the situation prior to the football game. You know what I'm saying? To cause them to, because I never knew those individuals. But one thing led to another, and it went from a football game to a 100-round shootout in the middle of the football field. So, like, kind of things like now, like back then, kind of like, oh man, it was easy to just, for me being a 17-year-old black kid from Mountain View, it was easy to turn that whole situation into just streets, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for most black teenagers, most black men, period, unfortunately, if you end up going through the court system, anytime your situation get affiliated with the streets, your mental health will not be, will not be respected, examined, nothing. Right. At all. Like, you'll never hear somebody from the streets get into a street situation and hear somebody say PTSD. You'll never hear it. You'll never hear schizophrenic. You'll never hear none of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You've never even heard, what's flip is. How many black serial killers are there?
I've never heard of any.
So I'll leave that there. You know what I mean? Because again, we know how the streets work. Right. We know how the elements work. And you kind of see, like, when somebody gets caught and they say this person had 7 bodies, 8 bodies, 10 bodies, 12 bodies. It's a serial killer, isn't it, by definition? But if it's a serial killer, that gives him what? Mental issues.
Right. Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just a gangster.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just a gangster. He'll never be a,
Right.
they'll never ask. He'll never get examined.
No.
He's just a gangster. Doesn't matter. So regardless of all of that I went through, when I caught my first case and the powers that be had the chance and the whereabouts and the mindset to be like, okay, what's going on with this kid? They still just said I was a gangster.
Wow.
After all the saving, after all the awards, I still was just a gangster. I'll never forget the former child hero arrested with this weekend shooting is what they put in the paper. So
Clearly, I am white and I did not grow up in Anchorage, but it's not gangs as we would term them like in Chicago or LA or something like that in another city. I wouldn't think of that as being here. But what is your opinion on that? Like versus like calling a black kid that happened to end up in a violent situation a gangster. Like, is there anything to back that up here in Anchorage?
yes,
Okay.
there is. But let's be honest. There has never been a bigger movement than 1990s gangster rap. 1990s gangster rap spread from country to country.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
People yelling West Coast, East Coast. That's never been to America.
Yeah.
People that can't speak English can say Michael Jackson, Tupac, Biggie.
Right.
Let's never speak English. So coming from the Caribbean like I came from and being raised in literally the most diverse neighborhood in the United States of America.
That's right.
Gang culture at first wasn't really gang culture as people would think. It was clicked up by race. So black kids was with black kids for the most part, you know, but Americans were with Americans in Mountain View. So like growing up, my best friends was different. You know, everyone was close, but that's where it was separated. We all spoke English. Right? They over there spoke Cambodian. They spoke Samoan. They spoke Spanish. That's how it was. Even when I was in high school, that's how I was broken up during lunch. These kids speak English. Them kids speak their language. 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 Now, we played American sports together, but the trade-off was like the Spanish kids would play American football if we played baseball with them because neither one of us had enough.
Oh, interesting.
So first, like, yeah, we were all kind of cool, but everyone had their own circles. It wasn't until the Americans, it wasn't until like maybe the second generations of kids all speaking American that really started, all right, we could form a gang. And then which really was just cliques. Once you put a name behind something, it's a gang.
Yeah.
So really the cliques even started forming just because people had rap groups. But again, a fight break out, now it's a street gang instead of a rap group.
Is that right? Right.
So they're gonna call it whatever they gotta call it to sell a story. And that's the part that sucks. Whatever is the best narrative for the story in a situation is what they're gonna run with.
Yeah.
I was caught by what you said that, you know, given what you've gone through, you're kind of afraid for, you know, to share your story because you don't know how people will take it. You know?
I don't care how people take it. That's the part. I don't care. I more or less care how the kids take. Like, I'm not one of them people. It's just a careful way of. It's a careful way of how I have to put it. So for me, example, like the trick of how I wrote my book. I let my friends tell it. So I base my book around the trauma, the biggest traumas of my life, which is the stabbing, the stadium shooting, and me getting shot. It was 6 times. Been shot 7 times total. So within my book, I've given people who know me the opportunity to answer the same questions. Ask everybody the same questions. Scars leave an everlasting memory. What's one memory that we share that you'll never forget? So within some of those memories, someone might say something like, man, I was in trouble and Kevin, there was 40 people and Kevin came by himself. And that's all I needed.
Yeah.
So instead of me saying, man, that's how I was.
Right.
He said it.
You said, yeah.
Now, my response is just me saying my POV of what happened. That also helps me tell the stories and keep them kind of low-key, like, on the verge of me actually telling the truth, but also help me tell the mental health things of what I go through, because when the violence comes, I black out. When the violence clears, I come back. It took me years to realize that, because I wouldn't remember. So that's the part of me becoming such a great storyteller. So what I would do is I'll take 5 different POVs from people who saw what happened, and I'll merge them. So when people ask me what happened, I'm retelling the merged story. I'm not telling it from my POV because I don't remember. And I just would never tell nobody I don't remember. So it was like a joke. Like for the longest time, my social media catchphrase was Koopa did it. And Koopa's my nickname. So people be like, yo, I just like Koopa did it. Because I wouldn't remember. Like for years, I wouldn't remember. So it's like, then going to therapy, and that's when I realized, man, that was like a byproduct of the stabbing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when she helped me remember, it was like, I could remember, like, literally, and I explained it to her, like, I walked into a room, and somebody else walked out. I said, and every time that happens, the aftermath is horrendous. I'm not saying, like, oh, man, it's like things, like I credit it. So like when I went on to therapy, it was crazy because it was such an aha moment. Like not because I haven't figured out so much of this stuff on my own. It was more or less her telling me how I found the safety nets throughout. How shocking it is, because it all makes sense. So for like example, as a kid, it was anime. So it wasn't until now older. There's a book called The Psychology of Batman. And one of the chapters inside of the book is like, it's inside of the book. I don't know what chapter it is, but they have a particular passage and it's like hiding behind a mask. And that was the whole point of Batman wearing a mask. Like, it's the bravado that he hid behind. So for me, I started realizing like, oh, the aha moment, right? Like me being called the Hulk. I got to hide behind my anger. So as long as I was mad, I would never have to explain. I was scared. I was hurt. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I never had to use any of those words.
Right.
Felt it. Like when I'm explaining it to the therapist, she's telling me all of these things, but I didn't, like I tell somebody, like, if you ask me as a kid to remember the emotional wall, there was happy, sad, and mad. All those other ones don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It never did. What's anxiety to a 12-year-old black kid? Go home and tell your mom you got anxiety back then at 12. Go home and tell your mom you depressed at 12. See what happens. So now that's something I had to learn, because now my son says those things. I'm like, okay, what got you depressed? Like, oh, I missed my test last week. But then I used to feel like that. Like, I'm not a dumb kid. I never had. Like,
Right.
I used to get upset. Like, my mom used to get mad at me about my grade, and I was already mad at myself. So it was just like, yo, you think I wanted a low grade? Like, what?
Right.
My honor's still like, and that's another thing that, like, being from the Caribbean, like, my parents haven't been able to help me with nothing since the 7th grade. So even with that, when people be like, oh, your parents couldn't help you, imagine being smarter than your parents. And I'm not talking about, like, knowledge. I'm talking about book smart. Like, I'm reading books that my parents can't even digest. So, like, Criminal Minds helped me know that something was wrong with me. And I'll never forget the passage. Like, it says, fairy tales don't tell children that monsters exist. Children already know monsters exist. Fairy tales tell children that monsters can be killed. So when I see that passage, like, oh man, I'm fucked up. And then the anxiety behind it for me, like when you read some of these stories and you read, I didn't sleep. My anxiety from that stabbing was like, I blame myself. So if you called my phone at 2 o'clock in the morning and you needed help, I was coming. Called my phone at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was coming. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, rock. It don't matter where I was at. It didn't matter. And it just made me like, there's just feeling like, man, like, it's just, I've done things that's unexplainable. You know what I mean? It's either God or I'm different. to the people who seen it. So it's just like some of them situations. Again, if it's just me telling it, people are gonna look at this book like, bro, this boy lying. Ain't no way. But then again, I don't got no reason to lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, somebody ain't gonna believe that I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
People don't believe it. They be like, man, you all right? You walking funny? Man, I used to be paralyzed. They just look at
You
me
should
like,
tell the story. You should tell them. You should.
and I'd be like, I was shot. Ooh, bro, I've been for this. They'd be like, bro, for real, man. This is what happened. And then one of my biggest reasons for telling it is just like, man, the destruction behind it. Like, none of us healed from that stabbing, And I try to bring those points up because I could turn around and tell you I was in 20 different shootouts. I can tell you I was in 30 shootouts. I can tell you if I've been shot 7 times, I can tell you the flip side of me being shot 7 times on why I had to be shot like that. Like, it is what I'm gonna give it to. Wherever you come at me with, I'm going to match it by tenfold.
Yeah.
Mentally, I don't see nothing but red, and I had to learn that. Like, to the point like people started calling me the Hulk. Like, I'd get into fights and it'd be 5. And even going back to that, like, I was a kid. I get into a fight at the basketball court and beat up an adult. Never go home and call my dad. Never. Like, if I call my dad right now and be like, Dad, how many times have I ever came home and got you? He was like, what are you talking about? Never. So it's not that I don't, like, you don't want me to go get my dad. That's not the issue.
Right.
I just, for what? Go home and tell my dad I just beat you up. I don't have them kind of stories. I don't have them kind of stories of people doing things to me and chumping me. No, it don't happen.
Yeah.
But the thing of that is, I'm thinking, I'm trying to be tough, and I never was. So I'm falling for the narrative that they created.
Yeah.
They created that narrative. Like, that there's no part of my story, honestly, that I was outside like that.
Yeah.
Like, if my friends called me, whatever, cool, but I was an honor roll student. I got stories of how every single one of my peoples could tell you, like, it wasn't only just me, like, my whole group was on honor roll because of that. Because my mom, this is the kind of mom I had. You hanging out with your stupid friends. So I make all my friends unstupid. Now what? Like, that's the kind of thing I'm at. Like, now what? I was going to sag my pants. I was going to wear what I wanted to wear. My mom would be like, oh, you want to wear what you want? Buy your own clothes. Cool. But I never played about my grades because you're stupid. I'm not. You're assuming I'm stupid because my pants is sagging.
Right.
And I know I'm not stupid, so who's actually stupid? And that's how petty I was in school. I don't care that you're older than me. Respect me, I'm going to respect you. And you're not smarter than me because you've read a few more books. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go read the same books you read.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and we're going to have the same conversation that I tried to have with you prior. And the moment that I beat you in that discussion in class, now you're stupid in front of the whole class. Office. I didn't disrespect you, but now I'm in the office.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so imagine, again, being the black kid doing that over and over and rarely ever having a black teacher.
Yeah.
I got tired of my ass. Kept sending me to office. And then the kind of books I was reading.
Yeah.
I got friends like that. I got a friend. He was never in the streets with me. And he called me the other day. He's like, bro, like, the stories I have of you are different. I was like, why? He's like, because I wasn't in the streets. I don't know about you fighting and none of that. I'm like, so I said, what stories do you remember? He's like, I remember, for one, bro, the school hated you because of the books you had in school. It's like The Spook Who Sat by the Door, From Niggas to God. I was reading books that was going to teach you something. Like, I'm in 11th grade and you're telling me to read Charlotte's Web. What am I reading? What am I reading the Charlotte's Web for?
Ow.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
What am I reading Alice in Wonderland for?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just being honest. And I'm a Scott. Like, that was one of the worst things that they ever did to me in school. I went from honors 9 to honors 10. And for whatever reason this year, like, Freedom Riders, our teachers was trying to keep moving up with us. And then for whatever reason, I have my own reasons, but I ain't going to say that on your podcast, they blocked it.
Everything is free here. You can
also with them blocking it, because I don't like saying stuff I can't prove. It's more like a theory. But also with them blocking it, they did away with honors 11. So you had a choice in go to AP 12 with this particular teacher, which she was hell. Or with this particular teacher, and she was hell. Or go to regular English. The part that made me say okay to go into the regular English class was because she was black. and she was a woman. So I just got along with black women. I love my mom. Fortunately, man, she was one of the worst teachers I ever had.
Oh.
Because what opened up my eyes was coming from Anchorage, Alaska, I only knew one black author growing up. One, Walter D. Mosley. Only one I knew. Didn't know any others. Didn't have the kind of parents that could put me on black literature. My mom had me at 15. We moved here when I was free. When my mom moved here, she got into the workforce because they told her she couldn't go back to school. So my mom never went to high school.
Right.
Her siblings did. Her 4 younger siblings did. My mom never did. So later on, my mom went back to school and I helped her get her GED. And then I helped her get her associates in medical billing and coding.
That's great.
And I got rearrested. I was in UA. I was on the dean's list. All A's. School was easy. Like, it was easy to me. Like, all A's with an ankle monitor on. I was on ankle monitor.
What were you studying in school?
I was studying... At first, I was actually taking law classes. So I took 2 years of law classes. Always wanted to be a lawyer. And then it got real tricky if I was going to beat my case or not, because I caught a case in high school for shooting allegedly 2 people in high school. And once I realized, like, man, I might not beat the felonies, I realized, like, I couldn't take a law. I couldn't take the bar with a felony. And my teacher was dope, man. She still wanted me to finish the program. She's like, you know, you could be a paralegal and the laws might change later, and I just couldn't do it. I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Yeah. So, and it sucked, because right after that, like, I really didn't have no direction. I literally was just the black kid that did business, because all black kids do business when they're in college and don't know what they're doing. I kid you not. Because I always wanted to draw, always could draw, but my mom had turned me off of it because I wanted to go to art school at first. My mom was like, there ain't no money in graphics back then and art, and it's just something you like to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I could design video game. Like, it's just the vision didn't catch up to my mom yet. You know, that's one of her regrets telling me that. And even then, like, I ended up taking like a creative writing course by my junior year. And I fell in love with it. It's just, I'm not lying. Like, I just didn't truly grasp like we could be writers. Like, I just didn't know that. Like, so I went to Baltimore. When I was in Baltimore, so I didn't have no friends or nothing. So July is actually Black Author Month. So when I went to the Baltimore Public Library in Baltimore, because my uncle lied to my mom, he really had me in the hood. Like, my mom thought I was in the okay parts of Baltimore. No. I was in the blue light zone. Like, curfew, if the blue light go on, run in the house, curfew. My mom never knew. I just told her the truth a couple months ago. So he really had me in the hood. I'm talking about the hood. I wasn't scared, but I knew I couldn't be outside after dark. So it's like, all right, let me go to the library. And it was before laptops and stuff, so MySpace. So when I went to the library, I'm talking about, like, they just had like free carts of books. And I'm just like, yo. And all of them had a sticker on it that said African American. I'm just like blown away. Like, yo. And then I'm just looking. I kid you not, there's an all black book and it's on the white spine. It said gangster in white. And I'm like, what the? Pull it out. I read the back. Like, about 2 Crips from Cali, and got the book. And I fall in love with that particular author's writing styles. Name's Kawan. And I didn't know they put hip-hop, like basically hip-hop or ghetto stories in the pages, like in the books. And then when they was in books, you know, you always hear like the writing wasn't as good. So my other favorite author was James Patterson. So after a while, I'm reading more of I was reading James Patterson. So I'm starting to read more and more of this new author. And I'm just like, y'all calling it urban lit, but it's more like crime fiction. So we start having a conversation, and we start having a report with each other. Like, been talking to this guy off and on now since I was 18 years old. Like, my big homie. Like, he's the only person I would call a big homie. Like, you know what I mean? So we talk all the time. And I'm just like, yo, why do they separate you and James Patterson besides obviously the color? Like, what is it? It's just like, when I walk into these places, you know, I don't pull up my pants. I was the same way, you know. I just did it the I could write. Like, and I'm all the way from Alaska. I've already experienced some of these things. But another dope thing that he had put in his stories is like, he kind of was already, before it became a trend and all of that, like, he was putting some of the mental health aspects into his characters. So it was almost like something, a staple for me to look up. So it wasn't like the information wasn't there. It was being knowledgeable enough to know what to look up on a computer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you really didn't know what to put in, like for us, right, we had Ask Jeeves. So you had to really, Ask Jeeves kind of really taught you how to look stuff on the internet. So if you really don't know what you're looking for, you kind of just don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So I was searching and searching for like why I was this way, why I wasn't. Then I realized, after I went to therapy, I hinted at a few things, but the biggest thing she was able to show me was that I was associating things with my mental health all along. So like little things like Spider-Man and cartoons was a big one. Every single hero is going through a trauma. Every single one. There's not a hero that you can name that didn't become a hero or a villain because of the trauma.
Right.
So really, it's always just like, what makes you a hero and what makes you the villain? It's a very, very, very gray line that people don't like to talk about. And it really just comes up to where are your morals at when whatever happened. So, again, it starts getting weird. You have that one side of you being righteous, and then you have the other side of you being lawful. And then, depending on the superheroes,
Right.
like, for example, Superman, all the walls and stuff, that's destruction. That's taxpayer dollars. It's that, but he saved the day.
Yeah, right.
And you're watching these cartoons after a while, you start asking yourself, like, yo, do Superman ever get appreciated? Do Spider-Man ever get, every time they put Spider-Man in the paper, it's bad. And I'm watching this, and I'm like feeling this way, and I'm just like, yo, what is it all for? So then you start thinking, like, in your mind, you're like, all right, well, I'm kind of tired of playing. Like, I tried it that way, I tried it this way, and they're still coming for me. Right. So let me make everybody hurt.
Yeah.
And then they're going to say I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No one's telling me which direction to go. So that's even, again, like when I caught my case. Like when my book comes out and everybody reads, like, someone's going to have to answer for what they did. But if I've never said nothing, it's just going to look like, a black kid that was mad and picked up a gun. Because that's what they say.
Right.
Well, because that's the easy narrative.
Yeah.
And it's a narrative that serves the purposes of what it's supposed to serve, of segregation, of justifying keeping certain people on this end of town and other people on that end of town. And, and I think it's really interesting you bring up the writing aspect, because there is something very insidious that isn't always recognized with how books are marketed, with how books are written, and with how books are, like you have in the romance genre, you have like Nicholas Sparks, who writes romance novels, but they're novels. And then you have a woman writing a novel that also has romance in it, but it's a romance. And it's taken less seriously. Oh, you're reading romances. It's the same thing. It's probably better than Nicholas Sparks. And I've gone down that road a little bit with understanding how, like, grammar rules come about and the prose and what is considered good and what is considered bad. Now, I've never read a James Patterson book, to be fair, but I have read things that mirror that style. And I am going to go on the record and say it is one of the worst writing I've ever read. It is awful. It is like it is so.
I'm not gonna lie, not to cut you off. Like he was more or less, because I liked like assassins stuff.
Sure.
Like that, right? And I love just let me think. It's not James Patterson.
Yeah, no.
No. I'm talking about like as a whole. I like the Alex Cross series. So again, black detective, right? It's strong character. That's pretty much it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm young, so I don't really care about the writing aspect. But once I started really realizing writing, like writer, like I'm like, hold on, yo, like he don't write nowhere close to him. And then once I'd asked him questions, why? And he actually answered me. I was back to the beginning all over again, where we get treated.
There is a difference between a compelling story that moves along at a good pace, good writing. And so, like, I'll also go on the record and say I fell for one of those silly, like you have to buy the app to read the story. I know, I fell for it. I started it on Facebook. I paid $15 to get to chapter 103 for A Billionaire's Stupid Romance. And it was horribly written. Horribly. I mean, short sentences, bad descriptions, repetitive. I mean, this was like a first draft, but the story just kept going. And so it doesn't mean people don't buy it. Clearly people buy it. They love it. It's an easy read.
For sure.
But you can't, in my mind, as somebody who also writes and reads, like, you can't listen to the marketers who say you have to write at a fifth grade level because we can't, because people don't have beyond a fifth grade comprehension.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And that's what they do. And then to, like, not have books that are written in your own voice, in your own way, and not having to code switch, not having to explain.
Right.
Like, those are some really interesting conversations that I've come across too, where it's like, okay, as a Black author, I was listening to NPR one time and they were talking about, like, as a Black author, I just wrote it. I didn't explain any of the jokes. I didn't explain any of the inside lingo. I didn't explain anything. She was like, I just wrote it for Black people, but white people and people who don't understand, like, I'm confused. What's happening here? And so, but it takes a lot of guts to go, like, oh, I'm over explaining. Oh, I'm writing this for people who are like me. And yet I'm still including my neighbor down the street who, you know, whatever that looks like.
Same thing like I kind of did with my book.
Oh, that was a great conversation. There was so much there.
Yes, and there is a part 2 right here on Black Alaska Health and Wellness Podcast.